Right, in the diagram below, parallelogram EFGH is mapped onto parallelogram IJKH after a reflection over line L. Seeing a bunch of important words here. Use the properties of rigid motions to explain why parallelogram EFGH is congruent to parallelogram IJ. Okay. Properties of rigid motions. So EFGH is congruent to IJKH because a reflection is a rigid motion. And all rigid motions, and this last part is really the most important part because I'm about to get to the properties. All rigid motions preserve, keyword keeping the same, distance and angle measure. And those are the two key things that make these things congruent. So to explain why they are congruent to each other, using specifically the properties of rigid motions preserve distance, meaning all the corresponding sides are still congruent to each other, and preserving angle measure, meaning that all the corresponding angles are still congruent. I'm going to stop labeling now because that's really what you need to know. Properties of rigid motions that talk about congruence are you preserving distance and angle measure.